Hi, everybody. Welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. Today is Wednesday, and I always jump on Wednesdays at 2 o'clock Pacific and share a technique with you. So sometimes it's a technique like watercoloring or embossing. Sometimes it's a fun fold or a fancy fold. Today I am going to show you the stack, cut, and shuffle technique. This is a great way, one, to use some of the designer series paper that we all have in our stash, and two, make cards quickly, because we're going to be able to make 3 cards really quickly with this technique and with this way of cutting your designer series paper. And so yeah, I thought it would be kind of fun to make some cards. I'm going to use the Be My Valentine suite, which if you've been watching me, I've been playing with. This is one of the new suites in the upcoming January to April mini catalog. So you're getting a sneak peek of one of the most adorable suites there is. It's a punch bundle as well as designer series paper, embellishments, and ribbon, and it's just so fun. So let me switch over and I will show you. Oops. It will hopefully come back into focus. There we go. Focus. There we go. Hopefully it'll get into focus. So this is the Be My Valentine stamp set. Now, somewhere I had the punch, but I don't know where my punch is going. Oh, here it is. I'm not using the punch today. I'm going to keep the cards really simple because that's really the goal for me in making doing this technique. So this is the punch bundle. It's got Valentine's Day sentiments, but you could switch them out. But these sentiments are actually adorable anyway. Like this, you're as sweet as honey, you could use for any occasion. So you can stamp the bee. These can make wings, and you can punch the bee out. Like I said, I'm not using the punch today. In fact, I'm not using anything but the sentiments on the stamp set today because I'm going to use 3 pieces of the adorable. This is only 3 of the adorable designer series paper. Look at these bees. Aren't they cute? And on the other side of that is that's that side. And then you've got this honeycomb in petal pink and some more bees with some flowers behind it. So just really pretty. So those are the three pieces of designer series paper that I'm going to use today. So what you need, hey Joey, it is so cute. Okay, so what you need are 3 pieces of designer series paper. Now, I've cut these to be 3 3/4 by 5. You can cut them to 4 by 5 1/4. I am just going to add an extra layer to my card base. So my card base is going to be 4 1/4 by 11, and then I've got a piece of cardstock that is 4 inches by 5 1/4, and then these pieces of designer series paper are going to fit on that. So if you cut them to 4 inches by 5 1/4, you don't need that extra layer of cardstock. But the trick with this technique is to, and you could stack more than this if your cutter will cut through more than about 3 pieces. I tend not to cut through more than about 3 pieces of designer series paper with my trimmer. If it's really sharp, maybe if I had a brand new blade on it, I would. Now the goal, I'm going to cut this into 3 pieces. You could do more, but you're going to piece them together. So I kind of cut them into 3 pieces. And it doesn't really matter what the shape of these pieces is because you've stacked. Now we're cutting. So I'm just going to lay those like that. And then I'm going to take this one and cut it again. Again, I'm not worried about exactly what shapes these are. I just really want to cut those pieces of designer series paper into 4 shapes. So there, this is where I have to figure out how did they go together. They went together like that. There we go. So that's how I cut them. Let me get that down into so you can see. That's how I cut them. Now here, that was the stack and that was the cut. So now we're going to shuffle because I'm going to take one of each of the pieces. Let's do it like this. One of each of the pieces and put them back together. This one. This is where I don't see three-dimensionally. I get teased about this all the time, and clearly I have this going the wrong way. Like that. Like, oh, Melva, you are so funny. Okay, that goes like that. That goes like that. No, it doesn't. Oh my goodness, I know these go back together. That's because I've got this one going the wrong way. Goodness sakes. Okay, maybe if I had them going in the right direction, I could actually fit them. There we go. See, I get teased about being three-dimensionally challenged all the time. So even though I knew they had to go together, I struggled. So that's how they're going to go together. And because the only thing you have to worry about when you cut your designer series paper is if you've got a piece that is directional, that you get it going in the right direction. Because when you pull it all apart, eventually, if you're like me, they will go back together just with three different pieces. Hey, Deborah. Hey, Mary. Welcome. So let's just move these now that I've got them in the right order. I'm going to bring my trimmer back on. So I cut 3 pieces of cardstock. I cut 2 in petal pink, and these are 4 1/4 by 11. So half of a piece of cardstock cut lengthwise. So I've got 2 of those. You can use whatever coordinates with your designer series paper. And then I cut 1 piece of crushed curry, again 4 1/4 by 11, and score it in half. So like I said, I love this technique because you can, it makes quick and easy cards that are really fun with the, or pretty, depending on the designer series paper that you choose. But this is a great technique for beginners, if you're a beginner stamper, because there's no fussiness to it. It doesn't matter what the pieces of cardstock look like, or pieces of the shape of the designer series paper. So then I cut a piece of sweet sorbet designer series paper. So that's 4 inches by 5 1/4. And so that's going to go on there. And then our pieces of designer series paper. Now, if you wanted to leave a gap, you can. I'm not going to. I'm going to put them back together exactly kind of in the same shape they were. And you just need to leave that 1/4 inch space around the outside of your card stock. So you can kind of just roughly line it up so that there's about 1/4 inch. And if you're using the liquid glue, you have a little bit of wiggle room to get them in place, and then kind of wiggle them into position if you haven't left enough. But I think I've left enough. Like that. So if I could get that straight on there. There we go. So once you've got your pieces cut, like I said, you could cut more than 3. I just kind of keep it to 3 because that's what my trimmer is happiest with. So that's 1 piece. So we will take, and then this one's going to go on here. Now I'm going to wait because I've got some ribbon, and so you can fancy these up, or you can keep them pretty simple. And one thing to remember is if you suddenly decide that you really like the other side of the designer series paper, well, that's perfectly okay. Just remember you're going to have to turn all of your pieces over so it goes back together in the right way. I just love these little bees. So one of the things you could do if you wanted to make a gift for somebody, you could make a whole bunch of these cards up and then leave make a whole bunch of, you know, die cuts or punched out labels without a sentiment on, and then do a bunch of sentiments for people to choose from. So you could make, you know, cards and have the sentiments. You could use the dimensionals, put the dimensionals on the back of the sentiments, and then they can choose what sentiment they want for a card. So you could have thank you or thinking of you or get well soon or happy birthday, and then they can choose what sentiment that they put on their card. Makes a really nice gift. I've done that with tags on occasion. There we go. Okay, so now these pieces are going to go on to, I've got a rough edge there. Where's my scissors? Just going to trim a little rough, ragged edge. Okay. Now, the other thing that goes with this is this really pretty bordered sweet sorbet ribbon. Let's see what I'm going to do. I cut out a piece of sweet sorbet. I just probably have to trim this. Yeah, I'm going to have to trim that. That was going to go on like that. And then the sentiment on like that. So I thought I would just stamp these with a sentiment that says, "You're as sweet as honey." And I was going to stamp it in sweet sorbet. Now, you notice I have my amazing, if I can find it, there we go. My amazing glass mat that I got in my order. So this is the glass mat suite or studio that you can get if you sign up starting in January. And because these are photopolymer stamps, you want to be stamping on something that's got a bit of cushion. So I'm just using one of the small grid papers that went with the Stamparatus, just so I've got something cushy underneath my stamping. You will be happier with your stamped image if you do that. You don't have to worry about the rubber stamps, but you definitely need to worry about photopolymer stamps to have something cushiony underneath. Okay, so this I cut is 4 inches. So I need to trim all of these to 4 inches. Not sure how long that is. Yeah, 4 inches. All right. Trim those. This is a bit like a one-sheet wonder. I find it easier. Sometimes I have a hard time with one-sheet wonders because you end up with little tiny pieces of designer series paper or cardstock to use. Whereas with this, you can I could have made the pieces smaller if I had wanted to, but I just kept them to 3 pieces. So I'm just going to put that on in the middle there, hopefully. There we go. And then you can use dimensionals on the back. Oh, I got stickiness on my grid, on my mat. So the cool thing is it comes with a cleaning cloth. So I will have to get the cleaning cloth out. Let's see. And wet it and clean up my glass mat. All right. And you can change where you put this. So I'm going to put that one kind of across and cover up some of those seams. There we go. So that's the front of that one. So you can see how quick and easy this technique is. We're 15 minutes in, and I talked for a minute or two at the beginning, and I've almost got 3 cards ready to go. How amazing is that? So you can change up where you put your sentiment. We'll put it on there. So has everybody got their wish list ready for tomorrow? So in North America, it's tomorrow. So December, yeah, North America. If you're in the South Pacific, it's today, but the free shipping on orders of $100 is tomorrow. So hopefully, oh, that one I adhered flat. That's okay. Okay. So now we can start and put these. So if you live local to me and you don't have an order of $100, I will be putting an order in. So you could message me with your order, and we'll talk about how I can put that order in for you. Okay, 3 cards. Now, I think I'm just going to tie a little bow. Like that. One. Get it twisted. Oh, untwist it. There we go. 2. This ribbon is really pretty and ties so nicely. 1/4-inch ribbon is always nice. Not too big. So this ribbon, the embellishments, this ribbon and the designer series paper, like I said, are part of the Be Mine suite. And if you are interested and you live in Canada, I am doing a product share. So you can get samples of each of them. So either if designer series paper, ribbon, embellishments, or if you want everything, you can do the I want it all option. So you can pre-order now and then pay January 1st or 2nd. Because if you're like me, you kind of want samples of everything in the catalog. So where should we put that? Let's just take that. I don't want to cover up these adorable little bees too much. Okay. All right, now I've got 3 pieces of basic white cardstock that I have that are cut. I was sure I had 3 pieces of designer series paper. But I'm missing one. Okay, that's all right. We'll figure out where that is afterwards. We'll do 2 of them. So this is for the inside of the card. These pieces are cut 3 3/4 by 5. So I'm going to have to trim that. Like that. And I got a splodge of glue. You always end up with little bits of the designer series paper. So I always save it, and it can go on the inside of my card. I'll have to find the other one. So my Stamp-A-Stack class in January. So these are 3 3/4 by 5. So they're you see a little bit more of the card base. My Stamp-A-Stack, which is in January, is featuring this Be My Valentine suite, but we'll do some other kinds of cards besides Valentine's cards. All right, and I'll glue this in, and then I'll put a piece of designer series paper on it when I find that piece that I cut, because I know I cut another piece. So those were 3/4 of an inch. Should have been by, sorry, 3/4 of an inch by 3 3/4. Okay, and then the last thing, these are the, what are they called? Adhesive backed hearts and flowers that coordinate with this suite. So we'll put some of these on. Come on, didn't want to come. Some hearts. Aren't those cute? Like that. And one more. Like that. I'm going to have to get some more of these. They're so cute. I am having all sorts of problems getting them off of the sheet today. Maybe if I do this. Oopsie. Normally I don't have as many problems, but it's just not wanting to come off. There we go. All right, 3 cards. Quickly done, sort of quickly done. But aren't they cute? My gosh, they're just so bright and cheery with those little bees. Again, so this is the Be My Valentine suite that is part of the upcoming January to April mini catalog. And even though it's Valentine's-ish, I think you can use this for other things. There are some really cute sentiments, and then the designer series paper is just so darn adorable. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me today. Now, tomorrow's a mystery challenge, so I will be posting a tic-tac-toe challenge for you about 9:30 tomorrow morning. And so what you do in a tic-tac-toe is you pick a row, whether it's vertically, horizontally, or diagonally, and use those 3 items to make a card. So come join me at 2 o'clock Pacific tomorrow and make a card with me, and then you can share your cards. If you've made cards using this technique, or any of your cards or projects that you're making, share them in my Facebook group. If you're not part of my group, that link is underneath this video, so you can request to join. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me. Hope you have a great day. Happy stamping. Bye.